The Lyran Empire had been strong for hundreds of years. Its fleets moved across the stars, and its cities were grand, shining with lights that could be seen from space. Queen Aravel ruled with pride. Her people respected her, and her enemies feared her. She believed that no one could defeat her. But she was wrong. The warning came first as a small message, almost ignored. Reports of strange ships moving through uncharted space, attacking settlements without warning. Lyran scouts tried to track them, but the enemy always vanished before the fleet could respond. The Queen's advisors said it was probably a minor threat, perhaps a rogue gang of pirates. Queen Aravel shook her head. She had fought small threats before, but something about this felt different. There was no chaos, no greed. The ships moved with purpose, precise and deadly. Then came the first major attack. The Lyran capital fleet, strong and proud, moved to intercept the invaders. Thousands of ships formed a wall of fire and light in space. The Queen watched from her palace bridge as her people prepared for battle. Her soldiers stood in rows, ready for glory. Her heart beat fast, not with fear, but with pride. The battle lasted only 1 hour. In that short time, the enemy destroyed almost every ship in the fleet. The surviving soldiers reported nothing about the attackers. Their ships were unlike anything the Lyran had ever seen. Silent, fast, unstoppable. Queen Aravel refused to believe the reports at first. Her mind tried to find mistakes, but every message told the same story. The capital fleet was gone. Thousands of lives lost. The Empire's pride shattered in an instant. Panic spread through the palace. Advisors shouted over each other, arguing about what to do. Some suggested fleeing to the outer systems. Others wanted to negotiate, though none knew who they could talk to. Queen Aravel remained calm. Her eyes scanned the galaxy through the massive viewing window. Stars shone bright, yet they seemed distant and cold. She realized her empire was surrounded. There was no escape. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, humans lived a life very different from the Lyran. Their colonies were young, and their ships small compared to the Lyran fleets. One human group, led by a man named Adam Rogers, traveled in a small exploratory ship. Adam was not a soldier, though he had learned to fight in small skirmishes. His crew included Lisa Raymond, a young engineer with quick hands and clever ideas, and Ethan Cole, a pilot who seemed fearless even in the most dangerous situations. One day, while scanning a remote part of space, they picked up a faint distress signal. It was weak, almost drowned in static. Adam frowned as he listened. "This is not a normal signal," he said. Lisa leaned over the controls. "It's coming from a highly developed system," she said. "The technology is not human." Ethan's eyes widened. "Then, who is sending it?" Adam's face became serious. "Someone is in trouble. We have to help." The human ship moved toward the signal, passing through asteroid fields and empty space. On the other side, the Lyran capital had fallen quiet. Smoke drifted across the city's surface. The once grand towers were blackened, and fires burned where no soldiers remained to fight them. Queen Aravel's guards tried to hold order, but despair weighed heavily on everyone. The queen herself stood on the palace balcony, looking at the burning horizon. Her voice was quiet, but her words were sharp. "They think they have won," she said. "But they have not seen everything yet." When the humans entered the system, they were shocked. The devastation was worse than anything they had imagined. Ships floated in space, broken and empty. Smoke and debris covered the atmosphere. Ethan maneuvered the human ship carefully, avoiding floating wrecks and shattered satellites. Lisa checked sensors, scanning for life signs. "There are survivors," she said. Adam nodded. "We need to find them before it's too late." The humans docked with a damaged Lyran cruiser. Inside, the sight was worse than they imagined. Soldiers and civilians huddled together, weak and wounded. Some were unconscious. Some had injuries that would have killed a human in hours. Queen Aravel herself was there, sitting on a broken throne, her armor dented and scorched. Her crown had been damaged in the attack. Yet her presence demanded respect. Even in defeat, she carried herself with dignity. When she saw Adam, she stared. Humans were small, their bodies weak compared to Lyran warriors. They had no massive weapons or fleets. And yet, there was something in their eyes, a courage that did not tremble even in the face of death. Adam stepped forward carefully. "We are here to help," he said. The queen raised her head, her eyes narrowing. "You are human," she said, almost in disbelief. "Why would you risk yourselves for us?" Adam did not answer immediately. Instead, he knelt beside a wounded soldier, examining his injuries. "Because it is the right thing to do," he said softly. Lisa moved among the wounded, stabilizing life support units and applying what she could to broken bodies. Ethan repaired communication systems and worked to restore some power. The Lyran guards watched, silent at first. They had seen many races before, but none acted like these humans. They did not hesitate. They did not wait for orders. They did not falter. As the humans worked, the queen observed them. She saw how they thought quickly, adapted to challenges, and faced danger without fear. She realized that humans were unlike any race she had ever met. They were young, yes, but strong in a way that did not rely on technology or numbers. She began to hope that perhaps the Lyran could survive. Adam noticed her gaze. He did not try to impress her or speak of heroism. He only focused on saving lives. The queen understood this immediately. Humans did not fight for glory. They fought for each other. That idea was foreign to the Lyran. The Empire had grown used to strength measured in fleets, not courage. Yet here, courage alone had the power to change the course of events. The queen stood and walked to the humans. "You have saved more than lives today," she said quietly. "You have saved hope." Adam looked at her and shook his head. "We only do what anyone would do," he said. Lisa smiled faintly. "Anyone with the courage to try," she added. The queen nodded. She realized that these words, though simple, carried more weight than any royal decree. Outside the palace, the sky remained dark with smoke. Yet within the walls, there was a new feeling. Humans had arrived, and with them came a chance. The queen had once believed that her empire's survival depended only on power. Now she understood something deeper. Survival required courage, adaptability, and the willingness to face the impossible. And humans embodied all of that. That night, the queen could not sleep. She walked among her people, listening to their whispers of despair. Some cried openly. Others stared at the sky, hoping for a miracle. The queen paused, looking at a small group of survivors gathered near the broken fountain in the palace courtyard. She watched as Adam, Lisa, and Ethan moved among them, offering comfort, repairing what they could, and organizing the wounded. The queen felt a strange emotion, something she had not felt in years. Respect, gratitude, a growing belief that perhaps, even now, the empire could rise again. She whispered to herself, almost inaudible. Humans. The word carried no arrogance, no expectation, only awe. As the humans rested for the night, preparing for what they would face next, the queen considered the future. She had survived wars, rebellions, and betrayals. She had faced enemies that no one thought could be defeated. Yet in all her experience, she had never encountered a race like humans. They were unpredictable. They were resilient. They refused to surrender even when surrounded by overwhelming odds. Queen Aravel understood that the galaxy was about to change. The humans' presence was more than a rescue. It was a signal. A message that hope could exist, even in the darkest hour. She knew the next battle would be difficult, perhaps impossible. But she also knew that with humans by their side, the impossible might be possible. And so, in the ruins of her capital, the queen made a silent vow. She would follow the humans wherever they went. She would learn from them. She would fight with them, and perhaps, together, they could turn the tide against the shadow that had consumed her empire. Outside, the stars shone cold and distant. The humans slept briefly, unaware of the full weight of the Empire's gaze. The Queen stood alone on the balcony, her eyes fixed on the horizon. "Humans," she whispered again, this time louder, almost as if saying it could give her strength. Humans. The galaxy had heard only whispers of their courage. But soon, every corner of it would know the name of the species that refused to give up, no matter the odds. And that was only the beginning. The next morning, the ruins of the Lyran capital were quiet, except for the soft sounds of humans and survivors moving among the broken buildings. Queen Aravel had spent the night walking through the courtyard, watching the humans organize the wounded and repair damaged systems. Adam Rogers had not slept much either. He was reviewing the distress signals and trying to understand the enemy they faced. The hollow swarm had been fast, precise, and deadly. It was unlike anything the Lyran had seen before. The Queen had heard stories of human battles, but she had dismissed them as myths. Now, she saw their courage with her own eyes. Humans could act when others would freeze. They could make decisions in seconds that would take the best-trained Lyran officers hours to consider. Adam gathered his crew in the human ship. Lisa pointed to the map of the system. "We need to know where their command is," she said. "If we can destroy it, the swarm might stop moving for a while. The Lyran fleets would have a chance to regroup." Ethan leaned back in his seat. "That sounds almost impossible," he said. "Their technology is unlike anything we have seen. How do we even start?" Adam's face was serious. "We start with what we know. They send signals. They have a center somewhere. If we can find it, we can hit it." Queen Aravel entered the room, her presence commanding silence. She looked at the humans, studying their determination. "You speak as if you know you will succeed," she said. "Do you understand the swarm? They destroy everything in their path. There is no room for error." Adam shook his head. "We do not understand them fully. But we will try. We cannot leave your people to die without doing everything we can." The Queen considered his words. She had led armies and fleets through countless wars, but she had never met beings who faced fear like this. Humans were not the strongest physically, nor did they have the largest fleets. But their courage was something that could not be measured. She nodded. "Then we will follow your plan," she said. "But understand this. My people are exhausted. Many have lost family, homes, and friends. We cannot afford mistakes." Adam smiled faintly. "We will do our best, and we will not give up." The human team began work immediately. Lisa inspected broken Lyran weapons, looking for ways to make them stronger or usable again. The Lyran had many weapons that could fire massive energy beams, but the control systems had been destroyed. Lisa studied the designs and quickly modified circuits, creating a system that could overload the weapons in a single, powerful shot. The Lyran engineers watched her work in silence, amazed at how quickly she adapted to technology they had spent decades perfecting. Meanwhile, Ethan ran simulations of possible flight paths to the suspected command node. He chose a route that passed through an asteroid belt, hoping the swarm would avoid it. "It's risky," he told Adam. "If we hit an asteroid, the ship will be destroyed. But it might give us the element of surprise." Adam nodded. "Then we take the risk. We have no other choice." Queen Aravel observed the preparations. She saw Lyran soldiers training alongside humans, learning new tactics and strategies. It was strange for her to watch humans lead her people, but she did not argue. The humans had earned her respect, and she knew that their instincts might be the only hope left. Days passed, and the strike group became ready. The humans had repaired ships and modified weapons. They had trained Lyran survivors in human-style tactics, emphasizing improvisation and quick decisions rather than strict rules. Queen Aravel walked through the hangar, observing the soldiers. Many were young, scared, and injured. Yet their eyes held a new spark. They had hope. On the day of departure, the Queen called Adam aside. "I have never asked a favor from any outside race," she said. "But I need your guidance. Will you lead us?" Adam shook his head. "I do not lead. We act together. We survive together. You will lead your people, as we lead ours." The Queen considered this and nodded. She realized that humans did not command by fear or authority. They commanded by example, by courage, and by action. As the strike group left the capital system, they saw the full scale of the devastation. Entire planets had been stripped of life. Stations that once housed thousands floated as empty shells. Queen Aravel felt a deep sadness. She had never seen anything like this. Adam placed a hand on her shoulder. "We will fix it," he said softly. "Step by step. One fight at a time." The Queen nodded, drawing strength from his confidence. The journey to the Hollow Command Node was long and dangerous. The human ship led the group, carefully navigating asteroid belts, debris fields, and remnants of destroyed fleets. Ethan piloted with unmatched skill, avoiding collisions by fractions of seconds. Lisa worked tirelessly in the engineering bay, monitoring weapons and engines. The Queen stayed with the group, observing the humans, learning their ways, and finding a sense of calm she had not felt in months. At one point, the strike group encountered a small swarm of drones. The Lyran soldiers panicked, but Adam and his crew acted quickly. Lisa fired a modified cannon, taking out several drones with a single shot. Ethan maneuvered the ship, dodging incoming fire. Adam coordinated the defense, giving instructions calmly and clearly. The Lyran soldiers followed his lead, surprised at how simple and effective the human tactics were. After the attack, the Queen approached Adam. "Your tactics are simple," she said, "but effective. How do you know they will work?" Adam smiled faintly. "We do not. But we act. That is how humans survive. We try when others hesitate. We adapt when plans fail. And we keep moving forward." The Queen considered his words. She had always relied on planning, preparation, and rules. Humans relied on courage, quick thinking, and action. And in this moment, she understood that their way might be stronger than her own. As they moved closer to the suspected location of the command node, tension grew. The Hollow Swarm's presence was stronger, and sensors detected massive energy signatures. Ethan adjusted the flight path, guiding the ships through a series of narrow passages. Lisa prepared the overloaded weapons, checking every circuit and power relay. Queen Aravel stood beside them, her eyes focused, her hands gripping the rail tightly. The humans held a strategy meeting before the final approach. Adam spoke calmly. "We do not know what to expect. The node is heavily defended. But if we act together, we have a chance. We strike quickly, use the cannons to overload their systems, and retreat if needed. Our goal is to disable their command, not fight every drone in the system," Lisa added. "Timing is critical. 1 second too early or too late, and the weapons will fail. We must coordinate perfectly." The Lyran soldiers listened, uncertain but willing. They had no other choice. The Queen finally spoke. "If we succeed, the swarm may be stopped for a time. If we fail, our people may not survive. Are you certain you can do this?" Adam looked at her, calm and resolute. "We will do our best. That is all anyone can do." The Queen nodded, feeling a strange sense of trust. When the strike group approached the outer edge of the node, the Hollow Swarm's defenses became clear. Drones moved in patterns faster than the eye could follow. Energy shields glowed brightly, and weapons fired constantly. Ethan guided the ships through the gaps, narrowly avoiding destruction. The Lyran soldiers held their breath, unsure if this was the end. Lisa monitored the cannon systems, waiting for the precise moment to fire. Adam coordinated the approach, shouting instructions over the comms. Queen Aravel watched in silence, amazed at the humans' ability to remain calm under pressure. Even when a drone fired at point-blank range, they did not falter. They adapted, dodged, and responded. Finally, they reached a point close enough for the overloaded weapons to be effective. Lisa confirmed the charge. "Ready," she said. Adam gave the final signal. The cannons fired, and a massive wave of energy surged toward the node. The shields flickered, drones exploded, and the command structure began to break apart. The Queen could hardly believe her eyes. The humans had done what seemed impossible. The Hollow Swarm's command was destabilized. Drones began to fall apart, losing coordination. For the first time, the Lyran felt hope. They had survived. The humans and Lyran quickly retreated, navigating back through the asteroid fields. The Queen followed closely, her heart racing. She had seen destruction and despair. But she had also seen courage and determination that no enemy could destroy. Humans were small and young. Yet they carried a strength that was rare and powerful. As they regrouped in a safe orbit, the Queen approached Adam once again. "I have never seen such courage," she said. "Your people, they are remarkable." Adam shook his head. "We are not perfect. We make mistakes. But we do not give up. That is what matters." The Queen nodded, realizing that this truth was far greater than any weapon or strategy. That night, the Queen walked among her people again. She saw soldiers training with humans, learning new ways to fight. She saw engineers working together, building what they could from broken ships and technology. And she saw humans, exhausted but unwavering, helping her people to survive. She whispered to herself once more, almost as a prayer. Humans. The word carried respect, admiration, and a growing belief. They had survived what seemed impossible, and they had shown the Lyran that even in the darkest times, courage and action could turn the tide. The galaxy had yet to understand the full power of humans, but Queen Aravel had. And for the first time, she felt that hope was not lost. The human and Lyran strike group prepared for the next stage of their mission. After the success at the Hollow Swarm's outer defenses, they knew the hardest part was ahead. The command node, the heart of the swarm, was deep within a dangerous sector of space near a collapsing star. Energy waves from the dying sun distorted space itself, making navigation almost impossible. Adam Rogers studied the maps carefully, his mind moving faster than any computer. Lisa Raymond worked in the engineering bay, checking each weapon and engine multiple times. She rewired circuits, modified controls, and reinforced power conduits. "If anything fails during this mission," she said, "we won't have a second chance." Ethan Cole tested the ship's maneuvers through simulations, flying through asteroid belts, gravitational waves, and debris fields. He repeated the same movements again and again, looking for even the smallest mistake. Queen Aravel watched from the command deck. She had never seen planning like this. Humans did not rely only on rules or hierarchy. They combined skill, courage, and instinct. Even in the face of danger, they moved calmly, analyzing every possibility. The Queen understood that their strength was not just in technology or numbers, it was in their will to survive and adapt. Before departure, the Queen called her officers together. "This mission is dangerous," she said. "We may not all return, but we have a chance to strike at the heart of our enemy. Follow the humans. Learn from them, and fight with courage." The Lyran soldiers nodded, though fear was visible in their eyes. Adam spoke next. "Do not let fear control you. Act with your minds and hearts. If we work together, we can do what seems impossible." The soldiers looked at the humans, and slowly, their fear turned into hope. The strike group left orbit and moved toward the collapsing star. Space twisted and shimmered around them, warped by gravity and radiation. The Hollow Swarm's drones patrolled in patterns that seemed impossible to predict. Ethan piloted the human ship, weaving through the waves of energy. Each small misstep could destroy them all. Lisa monitored power levels, making sure the modified weapons were ready. Adam coordinated every move, giving clear and precise orders. The first encounter was sudden. Swarms of drones attacked from all sides, faster than the eye could see. Lyran ships fired with precision. But the drones adapted quickly. The humans acted as one, covering the Lyran with shields, drawing enemy fire, and taking calculated risks. Lisa activated the overloaded weapons, firing bursts that destroyed large groups of drones at once. The Lyran soldiers watched in amazement, realizing that humans did not hesitate or falter under pressure. During the fight, a drone breached the hull of a Lyran cruiser. Soldiers panicked. But Adam remained calm. "Move to the escape pods in an orderly way," he said. Ethan fired the ship's thrusters to push the debris away. Lisa stabilized the damaged systems long enough for everyone to escape. The Queen observed quietly, noticing how humans inspired courage in those around them. The soldiers followed their lead, even when they had little understanding of the tactics. After surviving the initial attack, the strike group moved closer to the command node. The node itself floated near the edge of the collapsing star, protected by energy shields and endless drones. Adam studied the energy patterns. "The shields pulse in cycles," he said. "We have a few seconds each cycle to fire the overloaded weapons. Timing is everything." Lisa prepared the cannons, her hands steady despite the danger. Ethan calculated the flight path, weaving through energy waves and avoiding drone attacks. Queen Aravel stayed close, her eyes fixed on the humans. She realized something important. Humans were fearless not because they did not feel fear, but because they acted despite it. They did not wait for certainty. They improvised, adapted, and never gave up. She had led armies for decades, but she had never seen courage like this. The first wave of drones attacked as the strike group approached the node. Ethan maneuvered the human ship with unmatched skill, dodging enemy fire and guiding Lyran vessels safely. Lisa fired the overloaded cannons at the precise moment, the energy beams slicing through drone formations. Drones exploded in bursts of light, scattering into space. The Queen watched as the humans and Lyran worked together, their coordination flawless. Then came the hardest part. The energy shield around the node pulsed stronger than before. Any miscalculation could destroy the strike group instantly. Adam gave the order. "Everyone, stay focused. Follow the plan. We have one chance." Lisa activated the final charge, the cannon's power humming loudly. Ethan guided the ships through the narrowest part of the energy field. The Lyran soldiers held their positions, trusting the humans completely. The overloaded weapons fired. A wave of energy hit the shield at the perfect moment. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then, the shield flickered, weakened, and collapsed. Drones within the node exploded, their signals cut off from the swarm. The command node itself shuddered under the impact. Energy discharged wildly, and the strike group had to maneuver quickly to avoid the blast. The Queen could hardly believe her eyes. The humans had achieved the impossible. The Hollow Swarm's command structure was destabilized. Drones lost coordination and fell apart. The swarm that had seemed unstoppable moments ago was now disorganized, confused, and weak. Lyran soldiers cheered, but Adam reminded them, "Stay focused. The fight isn't over yet. We need to retreat safely." Ethan guided the group back through the asteroid fields and energy waves. Lisa monitored power levels, making sure the damaged cannons would not explode. The Queen followed, her hands gripping the rail tightly. She understood that without the humans, they would have been destroyed long ago. Their courage, skill, and determination had saved her people. As the strike group regrouped in a safe orbit, the Queen approached Adam. "I have never seen courage like yours," she said. "You risk everything without hesitation." Adam shook his head. "We are not perfect. We make mistakes, but we do not give up. That is what matters." The Queen nodded, understanding the deeper truth of his words. The humans and Lyran spent the next few hours repairing ships, tending to the wounded, and reinforcing defenses. The Queen watched them, realizing that this mission had changed her. She had always believed that strength came from numbers, technology, and planning. Humans showed her that courage, adaptability, and action could be even stronger. That night, as the strike group rested, the Queen walked through the corridors of the human ship. She saw humans quietly checking systems, ensuring everyone was safe. They were exhausted, yet they did not complain. They had survived impossible odds, and they would continue to fight. The queen whispered to herself, "Humans." The word carried respect, awe, and a growing belief in their power. The galaxy had yet to recognize humans for what they truly were. They were not just a young, small species. They were survivors, fighters, and leaders in their own way. The queen understood this now, and she knew that humanity would leave its mark on the stars. She looked at the humans one last time before leaving the ship. "You have shown us the impossible is possible," she said softly. "I will not forget this." Adam nodded, not seeking praise. "We do not act for recognition. We act because it is the right thing to do." The queen smiled faintly, realizing that this was the essence of humanity. As the strike group set course for the next objective, the queen stood on the deck, staring at the stars. The swarm was weakened, but not destroyed. The fight would continue, yet now, she knew that hope was not lost. The humans had shown that even in the darkest moments, courage and determination could turn the tide, and the queen whispered once more quietly to herself, "Humans. Humans." That single word carried through her mind, her heart, and her soul. It was not just a name. It was a symbol of hope, courage, and the power of a species that refused to surrender. The humans had saved her empire, inspired her soldiers, and changed her view of the galaxy forever. The queen understood that the coming battles would be hard. She knew that many lives would still be lost. But with humans at her side, she believed that victory was possible, and for the first time in months, she allowed herself to hope. The galaxy was watching. The swarm would recover, but the humans would be ready. And when the next challenge came, the queen knew that humanity would face it, as they had faced every obstacle before, without fear, without hesitation, and without surrender. The story of courage, action, and hope had only just begun. And at its heart were the humans, small but mighty, proving that even the youngest species could change the course of history.